Welcome back to The Breakdown. It's your girl Mimi, and thank you for tuning into my channel. I would really appreciate it if you continue coming back to show your support. If you happen to like what you hear, please go ahead and do your girl a favor by showing me some love by hitting those like, share, and subscribe buttons along with the notification bell so that we can continue to break down and discuss these shows. If you haven't already viewed my previous videos on Season 4, Episodes 1, 2, and 3 of Ready to Love, please be sure to check them out on my channel. I have been working overtime to catch up on these reviews, but no worries. I got y'all covered. Just keep tuning in. That being said, let's not waste any more time and jump right on into Season 4, Episode 4 of Ready to Love, Sipping Wine and Spilling Tea. Episode 4 starts off with all of the ladies meeting up with Nephew Tommy at the Ladies' Lounge, which is where they will be gathering from here on out to sip wine, spill tea, and deliberate on which men go home and which ones stay. It's equivalent to the Gentleman's Lounge that we saw the men at in Episode 3. Nephew Tommy tells them that their purpose this week is to dig deeper and that they need to ask questions and get into the men's houses to find out the real deal on what's really going on. Tressa says she doesn't necessarily like to snoop around people's stuff, but she'll find out what's going on, honey. If he has herpes medication tucked away in there somewhere, she'll find it, but only because they have a pass from Nephew Tommy to be nosy. And that's the only reason. First up, we see Vernisha walking up to Joelle's house for some breakfast. Vernisha has all of her goodies on display. On display, on display. You better come through, Melissa Gorga, with the on display. Y'all remember that? From Housewives of New Jersey? She has on a yellow crop top sweater and some tan leggings. I'm going to give her some leeway because I really like Vernisha and because I'm not one to always be glammed up for every occasion. But I thought she definitely could have come a little bit harder with the first date outfit. She looked bright and cheerful, but it was a bit too relaxed for the occasion, and I was also praying that her girls didn't pop out of that shirt, to be honest. Joelle is inside putting the finishing touches on his table decorations, which was super cute and decked out with fresh roses that actually matched what Vernisha was wearing. When Vernisha rang the doorbell, Joelle said, "That baby on time." They greeted each other with a very loving hug, and he told us that Vernisha made him feel like the Zulu ball. She was all soft and warm and started saying, "Don't let me go, don't let me go." Vernisha compliments Joel's home and his breakfast setup. Then they sit down to eat some eggs, bacon, and fruit with a nice mimosa. Did y'all see Vernisha trying to chew those eggs all cute? He says that losing his wife changed him, but didn't stop him from wanting to find someone to love. And love is in your face, boo. They both genuinely connect over their mutual love for their kids and family and how they've overcome similar obstacles in life. Now, I really like these two as a couple. They definitely seem to have a lot of chemistry together, and their conversations seem so easy and authentic. And I, for one, am here for it. Next, we see Alexis Fly meeting up with Troy's creepy self. Oof. I wasn't feeling that blue dress that Alexis was wearing. I don't know, it was something about the bra area that was off for me. It was very ill-fitting up top. And what is it with these blue dresses anyway? I mean, like, first it was Amber, now Alexis. So Alexis walks into the restaurant and gets to the table that Troy is sitting at. Of course, he's sitting there looking like a weirdo. He gets up, gives her a hug, and kisses her on the forehead. She sits down and immediately starts calling him out on his foolishness. She brings up how she found out that he's been spitting the same tired lines to a lot of the other ladies that he spits to her, promising them trips, giving them kisses, telling them that they are his number one, just the same old song and dance for everyone. You know, typical Troy. He is in complete disbelief that she feels that way and denies everything. This fool even denies that he kissed her when she walked into their date. And we clearly saw him do it. He claims that type of behavior is not him at all. Then turns around in his confessional and says he believes that the women thoroughly enjoy his kisses. Sir, bye, okay? And he still couldn't tell Alexis who his number one is. What a joke. Moving along, we see Amber and KG on a boxing date, getting in some physical fitness. Let's get physical, physical. They getting physical with physical fitness, y'all. I'm sorry, I'm on one today. Okay, so Amber says that she prefers one-on-one dates because she wants the attention to be on her and her only. Okay, girl, we see you. They get in the boxing ring and she tells KG that she is going to show him how she would fight for his love. And she starts putting in work. And what is with that scarf KG had on in his confessional? It's so thin, like a worm. Anyway, Amber shares that she was adopted at 5 and just recently reunited with her biological sister, who is 2 years older than her. KG says that he has a similar story because his dad has 11 kids by 9 women. Let's just ponder on that fact for a quick second. 11 kids by 9 women. Papa was definitely a rolling stone, okay? Hell, Papa was more like an avalanche, if you ask me. To be honest, after I heard that, I blanked out and didn't hear what the comparison was to Amber's story. I don't even think she heard it. So, I have no idea what the story is to this day. I came to right when Amber was revealing to him that she is actually a DA and not just an attorney. KG is very impressed by this because now he knows that the bills are going to get paid no matter what, okay? No, but he is being very supportive and lets her know that he is captivated by her drive and isn't intimidated by her success at all. He sees her and they see each other, okay? I like KG and Amber's relationship so far. I feel like Amber is comfortable being herself around KG, hence why she opened up to him and no one else. And KG is basically enthralled by everything that is Amber. Stacy and David go on a date to do Pilates. Stacy is doing her stretches, bending over when David walks in. Stacy knows what she is doing when she does that kind of stuff, being a temptress, trying to get that God-fearing man all aroused by her flesh and make him stray away from the good book. She knows the flesh is weak. But see, David, he said, "Thou shalt not tempt me." David walked in there with the patience of Job and didn't flinch. He stayed respectful, unlike what Troy would have done if he was in that same situation. Use your imagination. I need not say more. So Stacy turns around to greet him, and the first thing she does is let him know that he's late. She starts instructing him on what to do on the Pilates machine and teasing him about being slightly older than her. He tells us that he likes that Stacy takes care of her body, and she tells him that she likes that he tried new things like her Pilates class. He wants to know if sharing personal information like passwords to social media, phones, etc. would be an issue for her if they were in a committed relationship or married. She believes in having her own privacy and doesn't want her man's passwords, so she definitely is not trying to give up hers. She tells him that if she has a journal or diary, he better not read them. They both kind of share their own opinions on the subject, and Stacy tells us that she thinks David processed her saying privacy as meaning secrecy, which is not what she meant. However, to be honest, privacy and secrecy are synonyms, so... No, but if you think about it, who asks a question of that magnitude on a first date? It made me think that David has a backstory that could shed some insight on what that question is really about. Because while I'm okay with my husband having my passwords, I don't think that it's that big of a deal to be with someone who prefers to keep some things to themselves. At the end of the day, you either trust your spouse or you don't. And I feel like unless they give you a reason to question their trust, then it's really not a thing. And like the saying goes, you can't bring baggage from an ex relationship into your next relationship. Or don't bring old energy into new situations. And even though the ladies were asked to dig deeper, Stacy was like, no need to do that because David had dug his own hole in her book. AJ and Liz and Alexis and Jason are on a group date playing cornhole. Why they call it that? It just sounds weird. Cornhole. Okay, I'm sorry. Anyway, now at this point, Alexis is making me want to take the fly out of her name and replace it with nope in my new voice. Never. Because these outfits are not working. What are we doing with these super long fringe denim shorts with matching jean thigh-high boots? If I see another thigh-high boot, I'm going to just, I don't even know, test something up, okay? I know we are in Texas where spurs go jingle jangle, but girl, this doesn't scream flattering to me. And I've seen some cute friend shorts, but these were a hard pass. This is definitely a thing because Andrea wore the same kind on her elimination date with David. And Alexis should have put hers in Andrea's bag and sent them packing together. Okay? On the other hand, Liz looked very stylish in her fitted jeans and black cape, though. Yeah, it was definitely Liz fly today, y'all. Sorry, Alexis. Liz wasn't only scoring points in the fashion department, but she was also the cornhole champion on this date. Alexis and Jason didn't stand a chance because Liz was taking no prisoners that day, and AJ benefited off her great aim because I don't remember seeing him throwing any beanbags in the hole, but I digress. Also, AJ had on a scarf similar to the one KG had on in his confessional. Is the scarf more of a decorative piece? Because it's really hard to tell if the weather was hot or cold based on the way everyone was dressed as a collective. I don't know, because like Alexis had on shorts, everybody else had on pants, and he had on pants and a scarf. I don't know. So, after playing cornhole, Jason and Alexis sit down and chat on the sofa. He lets us know that he's having a hard time seeing Alexis as a love interest as opposed to a parent. He asks her what ideas she has for them to do whenever they do get to have their one-on-one date. And she tells him that she's big on time and that timing is her love language. Now, I could have sworn that she told AJ on their date that touch was her love language, but I guess it's possible to have multiple love languages. Who knows? Some folks may identify with all of the love languages. I don't know. She goes on to tell Jason that she's not into gifts and diamonds, although she'll take them if they're given to her. Don't get it twisted, boo. Okay? But his time is what tells her that he loves her. Jason nods his head in understanding. Alexis tells us in her confessional that she likes Jason but feels like he doesn't relax enough around her. She wants him to loosen up more, and he wasn't sitting close enough to her, which is a problem. But he's still her top at the moment. AJ and Liz are having a conversation of their own, and he is telling her that he thinks she is very regal. He also compliments her on her cape. Now, if you notice, Jason didn't compliment Alexis on those shorts, so I'm just saying, okay. Anyway, Liz goes right into asking him what his personal views are on sex before marriage, because right now she's practicing abstinence until marriage. He says that he would like for his connection with the woman he wants to be in a serious relationship with to be genuine, meaning if they are vibing and there's sexual chemistry, then he's down to react on it. He tells her that although he's abstained in the past, which we really don't believe you did on purpose, he basically wants to take that thing on a test drive before making a purchase, which might not be such a good analogy, seeing as how he has a history of trying things out and not being able to afford them due to his car being declined and stuff. Liz understands that they are not completely on the same page with this topic, and that she refuses to compromise her standards for them to be together. But she holds out hope and says that, who knows, maybe she'll change his mind. You won't, Liz, and don't force something that won't fit, boo. You need to go and give David a call, girl, because I feel like he's your person. You're welcome. Next, we see Ron and Chrysanthemum on a date at Candy Shack getting some daiquiris. The first thing I thought about was this being the second flight attendant that Ron will be sitting down with, because we all know how that talk with Andrea went, so hopefully this will go a lot more smoothly. Ron is waiting inside when Chris walks in looking all cute in her blush pink getup. I think this is the first time that I actually paid attention to how gorgeous Chris actually is. They greet each other with a hug, which Chris seemed to really appreciate, and they began to play Connect 4 and Jenga. They look like they were having a good time, and they're even doing a little bit of light flirting. Chris tells us that she loves how Ron is and doesn't know why she didn't see this side of him at the mixer. They begin talking about what they are looking for in a partner, and when Chris explains that she wants to take on a more traditional role, is ready to settle down, and wants someone who is a protector and provider, Ron's face lit up, and he tells her that he has that and more for her because that's exactly what he's looking for in his potential wife. Now, speaking of Ron's face, is it just me, or do y'all think that Ron should win the Big Face Award for this show? If y'all listen to Ricky Smiley, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. And this is honestly no shade. Well, maybe a little. But I don't know if it's the angles or what, but his face is bombarding the whole TV screen at this point. Doesn't matter what I think though, because Chris says that Ron is it for her right now. Definitely her number one after that date. All right, girl. Finally, we see Liz walking up to David's house for a dinner date. Told you, girl. Liz looked very nice and wholesome with a little jazzy tease. She tells us that she's had her eye on David since the mixer when they were singing hymns together. Glory to God. He greets her at the door with a rose and a hug, then walks her into the dining area where he has the table set with a piece of fried fish and a piece of cornbread on each plate. Or it could have been two fried chicken tenders. I don't know. But I feel like it was fish and cornbread next to a bowl of some sort of rice. Now, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because maybe cooking isn't his thing and he literally did the best he could trying to prepare a meal for this date with Liz. And if that's the case, then David, I'm sorry for saying what I'm about to say. Okay? So, I felt like he could have done a little bit better with the overall appearance and placement of the food on the plate, especially if he was going to plate the food before she got there. Whatever was on the plate looked like two of the same thing, so the plate really needed some variety, like some potatoes. Or you know what? Call up my girl Tressa since you said she's just a homie and have her to bring the paprika and show you how to make some of that mac and cheese and okra they fixed down at the cooking class last episode. You know, you just needed an assortment. Better yet, just put whatever was in the bowl on the plate with the chicken tenders or the fish and cornbread. Because, see, my thing is the plate was just naked, bare. And then I think it was a plain white plate. So, look, David, it just wasn't appealing to the eye. And I don't want to call it an outright struggle plate because I know you were enjoying the food, but I didn't see Liz eat a single bite throughout this entire date. So, I'm just saying. Maybe just check in with Diedrich for some tips next time. Or not. So, other than the fish and cornbread, David and Liz had a very insightful date. Liz asked him to share his story on how he grew up, and he tells her that he wasn't allowed to have girlfriends and girls couldn't call the house. He said his mom would answer the phone by saying, "Praise the Lord," and he would be embarrassed by it. Oh, I would too, I think. Once he left for college, he strayed away from the church because he had been so sheltered all his life. So having that freedom was something that he wasn't used to. He made sure to clarify that he left the church, but never lost his faith in God. And eventually he found his way back. A true prodigal son. Hallelujah. Y'all better go read the book of Luke and get your blessing. I'm for real. Liz is in amazement at this point. Baby Liz says that the good word will put a hurting on you if you speak it right. Okay? David asks her to tell him more about herself, and she reveals to him that she hasn't been in a serious committed relationship for 17 years. She's been in situationships, or booty calls, but nothing of substance. She had to grow, learn, and mature throughout this phase. David understands and tells her that he got married in his early 20s, then got married again, and witnessed her walk out on him when he thought he was showing up and doing the right thing. Liz wants to know if he's capable of giving the right woman love, and he says he's not scared to give love to the woman he thinks is the one, but he just doesn't want to do it, and then they walk out on him again. So I think that David and Liz are cute or whatever, but it does seem like he may have some high-key trust issues that he needs to iron out with a good therapist before he commits to another marriage. It definitely seems like he's holding on to a lot of baggage from his past, and he's going to need to figure that out and heal from it before he's able to completely give himself to someone if he wants it to last. And I'm almost positive that this is where his question about the passwords on his date with Stacy stems from. But I feel like Liz is that ride or die type of chick, so she'll walk him through it. All of the deep digging has been done, and now it's time for the ladies to meet back up with nephew Tommy at the ladies' lounge. Everyone comes in looking great, and right away, Tommy asks who feels like they might be in the beginning of their own love story. And Vernisha starts skinning and grinning. She says that she has more of an appreciation for Joel after her date at his house. She tells them that he had roses and mimosas prepared for her, along with a nice breakfast spread. Stacy says she had eggs, bacon, and love, honey. Tressa says she doesn't know how Joel can be that fine with braces, but he has definitely figured it out, and all the ladies agree. They also agree that they love his accent. Baby. Liz says it's David for her. She tells them that she went to his house and he greeted her with a rose, making her feel like a lady. At this point, Stacy is giving the stank face. Liz says he was a breath of fresh air. He's a church boy and she's a church girl, so maybe God is trying to make that happen. She tells them about him being married twice and how that looks to be a source of pain for him, but she likes that he opened up to her and got emotional, helping them to connect more. I told y'all David was emotional. Amber talks about her date with not KG, but Chris. She says that they undeniably have a connection and she really likes him a lot. Tommy said, he put that quiet storm on you, didn't he? I can't even do it right. He put that quiet storm on you, didn't he? Chrysanthemum says she's feeling Ron, which was very unexpected. Chris was over there blushing and everything. She could barely speak. She says that on their date, he was checking off all the boxes for her. Now it's time to talk about who the ladies are not feeling. Stacy instantly says David and begins to put her twist on the conversation they had on their date. She reveals to them that David wants his woman to share all of her passwords, bank account information, Instagram. Majority of the ladies are looking extremely bothered by this news, and Tommy says if that's true, then he's basically bringing his past to the next relationship. The ladies agree, and Stacy makes it known that she thinks David is a really good dude, but it felt like he still has some healing to do, so she's not feeling it. Liz tells us that she is completely unbothered by what Stacy said about David because she understands where he was coming from and she agrees with his stance. Anisha says she isn't feeling AJ or Troy and brings up Troy's attempts at making all of the same promises to everyone, telling them that they are his number one and how he's taken everyone on luxurious trips. Kyra agrees and says he's like, you get a trip, and you get a trip. Then she states that she's not feeling David. Liz says Troy and his kisses can get gone, and Alexis seconds and thirds that motion. So it looks like David and Troy may be on the chopping block this week. As expected, Troy and David are the two men chosen to attend the elimination dates. Amber meets with David and she tells him that the ladies feel like he may have some trust issues. He immediately recognizes where that came from and offers an explanation because that conversation was obviously misinterpreted by Stacy. Amber obliges and lets him explain himself. He tells her that in marriage, he believes there should be transparency and no privacy, meaning if you want my passwords, you can have them because I have nothing to hide. Amber says that maybe Stacy doesn't agree with that way of thinking and that essentially the ladies think he's not open-hearted and that he might potentially bring his past to the present. David tells her that his past molded him into who he is presently, which is an honorable, loving man. She says the ladies made a unanimous decision and that they do think he is ready to love and just want an opportunity to get to know him. He says that he's happy that they are allowing him to stay. Amber tells him that she thinks he is genuine, but closed off, and that she believes it has a lot to do with his past. David says in his confessional that he feels more comfortable with he and his wife having such a level of transparency that a phone ain't even a topic, okay? That's what he wants for himself, and he can't speak for other people. You better stand up for yourself, David. My boy is 10 toes down when it comes to his beliefs. Stacy meets with Troy to discuss the ladies' thoughts about him. Stacy's dress was cute, and Troy was drooling all over her when he saw her. In his confessional, he says that Stacy is absolutely stunning and that they haven't gotten a chance to get to know each other on a more intimate level. So going on a date with her is an ideal thing for him to do. I was thinking, too bad that's not the real reason this date is happening, weirdo. Stacy goes on to tell him that a lot of the ladies think that he's spreading himself low and wide with them. He disagrees and says only a couple of the ladies, and Stacy refutes and says more. Troy says that he doesn't know who that guy is because that's not who he really is. Stacy tells him that he presented himself in a way that was unfair to himself and his spirit, and also unfair to the ladies who are all looking for genuine love and a real shot at love. She goes on to say that because of those cake daddy feelings, Troy, you've got to go. Troy says in his confessional that he's learnt his lesson. He's the type of guy that if he does something wrong, all you have to do is tell him one time and he won't ever do it again. He might make a different mistake, but not the same mistake. He thinks he's been himself for the most part because he doesn't know how to be anyone but him. And he makes sure to remind us that he's still 150% ready for love. Then ask the questions, are you down? Want to do that? To which we all respond, hell no. Bye, Troy, and good riddance. Well, that sums up episode 4, and I must say that I am truly elated about Troy's elimination. When I say he was giving creep vibes, it's a tremendous understatement. Plus, he was a health risk, trying to give everybody kisses when COVID is running rampant through these streets. Ew. Ugh. Nevertheless, I want to know how you feel about David's stance on transparency and no privacy, as well as your opinion on which couples seem like they have a genuine connection. I mean, are we feeling Joelle and Vernisha, or Liz and David, or Alexis and Jason, or even Ron and Chrysanthemum? Let me know in the comments. As always, thanks for tuning in and be sure to keep coming back. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And in a minute, I'll be posting my breakdown on episode 5 of Ready to Love. So hit that notification bell on your way out. All right, y'all. Bye.